When a marriage ends, it's not the papers or lawyers that break you. It's the silence after she leaves. The bed feels colder, the house emptier, and every corner reminds you that the woman who once said forever now looks at you like a stranger. You try to understand, to fix, to reason, but the truth hits like a knife. She's already gone, long before the divorce. What dies after isn't love. It's the version of you that existed only for her. This is not about healing. It's about surviving. Because when everything falls apart, the world won't save you. You must rebuild yourself from the ruins. Number 1. Realization. She's no longer yours. The hardest part of a divorce isn't the signing of papers. It's accepting that the woman you loved has emotionally vanished long before the ink dried. One day, she still laughs at your jokes. The next, her silence becomes unbearable. You can feel it, that invisible distance between you. Like you're speaking through glass. You reach out, but what touches your hand isn't warmth anymore. It's absence. You keep telling yourself she's just going through something, that it's just a phase, that the woman you knew is still in there somewhere. But here's the brutal truth. She isn't. Once a woman detaches emotionally, she doesn't come back. Her body might still be in your house, but her soul has already left. She starts dressing differently, speaking less, finding reasons to stay late, scrolling endlessly, laughing at things that have nothing to do with you. You notice it, you feel it, and deep down, you know it. But your ego won't let you accept it. Men often live in denial. We confuse her physical presence with emotional loyalty. We think as long as she sleeps next to us, she's still ours. But emotional betrayal always happens before physical betrayal. A woman doesn't cheat because she's bored. She cheats because she's done. And when that happens, you're already a ghost in her world. You'll try to reason with her, remind her of the memories, the vows, the sacrifices. You'll beg, argue, cry, promise to change, all to resurrect a version of her that no longer exists. You'll replay every conversation, analyze every detail, looking for the moment she stopped loving you. But you won't find it, because love doesn't end with a bang. It fades in silence. You must understand this. She is no longer yours. Not because someone else took her, but because she chose to reclaim herself. The version of you she once needed no longer satisfies the woman she has become. And that's the cruel paradox. The more you chase her, the further she runs. The only way to survive this phase is through brutal acceptance. Stop searching for explanations that will never soothe you. Stop idealizing the past. It's gone. Stop clinging to the corpse of what was once us. When a woman withdraws emotionally, the relationship dies quietly, without ceremony, without warning. It's not your job to resurrect her love. It's your duty to bury your illusion. Mourn it, yes. But then let it go. Because the moment you accept that she's gone, not just physically, but spiritually, you begin to free yourself. You cannot win her back by proving your worth. You win yourself back by understanding your worth never depended on her in the first place. That's the first rule of surviving a divorce. Stop trying to bring the dead back to life. Number 2, cutting all contact to rebuild yourself. The second stage of survival begins with a brutal command. Cut everything. Every message, every photo, every trace that ties you to her must go. Most men don't understand this. They think staying in touch will keep things civil, maybe even open a door for reconciliation. But what it really does is keep you trapped inside a loop of emotional withdrawal. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. Every time you check her social media, you reopen the wound. Every just checking in text resets your progress to zero. You think you're being strong by keeping contact, but in truth, you're feeding an addiction. Love, once broken, becomes withdrawal. You crave her attention like a drug, even if it's poisoned. And like any addiction, the first step isn't moderation, it's total detox. No contact isn't about pride or manipulation. It's not a tactic to make her miss you. It's a survival mechanism. It's the psychological firewall you build to stop the bleeding. You don't block her because you hate her. You block her because you're dying inside every time her name appears on your screen. You don't delete the pictures because they don't matter. You delete them because they keep you chained to a ghost. This stage will feel like death. Your body will crave her presence. Your mind will invent reasons to reach out. Your ego will whisper, maybe she's thinking about you. But that's not love speaking. It's fear. Fear of emptiness, of fear of being alone with the silence you've been avoiding for years. But here's the paradox. Only in that silence will you begin to rebuild. When you stop talking to her, you start hearing yourself again. The chaos fades. You rediscover small things. Your thoughts, your rhythm, your identity. You realize how much of yourself was invested in someone who already moved on. And that realization, though it burns, is the beginning of strength. The truth is, contact doesn't keep her close. It keeps you broken. Every reply, every scroll, every thought of what if keeps you living in the past. The man who checks his ex's life daily isn't healing. He's haunting his own ruins. Cutting contact is not a punishment. It's a burial. You're burying the fantasy that she'll come back, the illusion that closure will come from her words. Closure never comes from another person. It comes from you deciding the story ends here. You cannot rebuild your life while standing in the ashes of the old one. You must walk away, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. Because the man who cannot detach cannot grow, and the man who cannot grow will repeat the same pain in a different body. So erase the number, block the profile, delete the photos, burn the letters if you must, then sit in the silence. Let it hurt, let it tear you apart, and when it's done, when there's nothing left to cling to, you'll find something quietly powerful, yourself. That's the price of freedom, and the beginning of rebirth. Number 3, rebuilding your identity. After the collapse. When a marriage ends, a man doesn't just lose a partner, he loses a mirror. For years, you saw yourself through her eyes. Her approval was your validation, her affection, your sense of worth. Without her, you're forced to face a terrifying question. Who am I now? Most men don't have an answer, because society never teaches men to build an identity independent of love. You were trained to be a provider, a protector, a husband, roles that only make sense when someone needs you. But when she leaves, those titles collapse. And beneath the ruins, you realize something brutal. You never built yourself. You built a function. This is the void most men drown in after divorce. They chase distractions, women, money, work, alcohol, anything to fill the silence. But you can't rebuild by running. You must rebuild by facing what's left. Start with discipline. When everything feels meaningless, structure becomes salvation. Wake up early. Move your body. Clean your space. Earn something, even if it's small. Pain demands chaos. Discipline demands control. The only way to fight the storm is to build routine stronger than emotion. Then comes reflection. You must confront the truth about the man you were. Not to hate him, but to understand him. What parts of you were real And what parts were just performance for her love? What did you sacrifice in exchange for peace? What pieces of your soul did you trade to keep her satisfied? The answers will hurt. But that pain is the price of clarity. As you peel away the layers, you'll begin to see yourself not as a husband, not as a victim, but as a man again. Separate, sovereign, and self-defined. That's the stage where transformation begins. You're no longer rebuilding for someone else. You're constructing the version of you that cannot be destroyed by loss. This phase isn't glamorous. No one applauds you for eating alone, working out in silence, or building your life from scratch. But this is the forge. Every day you endure without her is a brick in your new foundation. Every night you survive without calling her is a declaration. I exist without you. When you stop needing to be seen, you begin to see clearly. When you stop living to be loved, you start living with purpose. That's when you realize the paradox of heartbreak. It didn't destroy you. It revealed the man you were too afraid to meet. Rebuilding identity isn't about becoming better to impress anyone. It's about becoming whole, so no one ever completes you again. Because the man who stands alone after losing everything isn't broken. He's reborn. Number 4, facing the emotions instead of escaping them. Men are taught to suppress, not to feel. From childhood, you're told to man up, to bury pain under control and logic. But when divorce hits, that armor cracks. You can't outthink heartbreak. You can't reason with emptiness. You can't fight a ghost with discipline. The only way out is through the pain you've been running from your whole life. At first it feels like chaos. Anger, shame, guilt, loneliness. They all rush in like a flood. You try to numb it. You drink. You distract yourself. You pretend you're fine. But every escape becomes another form of dependence. The more you run from pain, the more it owns you. Because what you refuse to face will always return. Stronger, darker, hungrier. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It strips away illusions and forces you to see what's real. You thought love was security, but now you see it was dependency. You thought control meant strength, but it only hid fear. Pain exposes every lie you've built about yourself, and if you let it, it will rebuild you honestly. You must allow yourself to feel everything, not to drown in it, but to understand it. Rage isn't weakness. It's a signal that something within you was betrayed. Sadness isn't failure. It's a mourning of what you gave that will never return. Don't resist these emotions. Observe them. Let them move through you like a storm. Cry if you must. Scream if you need to. Write, train, walk in silence. These are not signs of collapse. They're signs of cleansing. Most men fear silence, because in silence, truth speaks. You'll hear your own voice again. Small, cracked, but real. You'll realize how much of your identity was built on avoidance. You'll see that every woman, every relationship, every distraction was just a wall built to keep you from meeting yourself. And now that the wall is gone, there's nowhere left to run. So don't run. Sit with it. Sit with the ache until it stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like revelation. Because beneath all the anger and grief is something sacred. Your capacity to feel deeply. That's not a weakness. It's your humanity, returning after years of being buried. You cannot rebuild yourself while numbing your heart. You must burn in it, melt in it, and let it reshape you. Pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to refine you. You're being stripped down to your essence. Every false belief, every emotional dependency, every illusion of control, all burned away. When you finally stop escaping, you'll find that pain no longer terrifies you. It humbles you. It grounds you. It becomes a compass pointing you back to truth. And that's when you stop being a victim of heartbreak and start becoming its survivor. Number 5. Learning to trust yourself again. After a divorce, the greatest casualty isn't love. It's trust. Not trust in her, but in your own judgment. You look back and ask yourself, how could I not see it? How did I let this happen? Every decision feels poisoned. Every instinct feels unreliable. You no longer trust the man in the mirror because he once believed in something that fell apart. This is the silent war after separation. You stop believing in your ability to choose, to feel, to lead. You become cautious, guarded, disconnected. You doubt every emotion that rises, suspect every spark of connection, analyze every moment until all feeling dies under the weight of logic. You think this is protection, but it's actually fear disguised as wisdom. You must understand, she didn't destroy your ability to trust. You did, when you gave her all the power over your happiness. You built your world around her approval, and when she withdrew it, your world collapsed. That's not betrayal. That's dependency revealed. The real recovery begins not when you trust another woman again, but when you trust your own perception of reality. To rebuild that, you have to start small. Keep promises to yourself, the ones no one sees. Wake up when you said you would. Do the workout. Stay sober. Speak your truth without apology. Every small act of consistency becomes a vote for the man you're becoming. Self-trust is built, not declared. You'll be tempted to outsource your confidence to new lovers, to achievements, to distractions. But true strength comes from silence, from the ability to be alone without losing direction. The man who can trust himself doesn't chase validation. He becomes it. Forgive yourself for being naive. You weren't foolish for believing. You were human for hoping. The goal isn't to harden your heart, but to refine your discernment. Pain sharpens your instincts. It doesn't destroy them. The next time you feel something real, you'll know it. Not because you're blinded by desire, but because your intuition has been through fire. Self-trust means standing firm in your perception, even when others doubt it. It means no longer needing external permission to act, love, or walk away. It means no longer asking, "Am I enough?" but answering, "I was always enough. I just forgot." Reclaiming trust in yourself is the foundation of your resurrection. Because a man who trusts himself cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken, cannot be lost. He may be alone, but he's unshakable. That's when you finally understand. Trust was never meant to be given away. It was meant to be guarded within. Number 6. Turning the collapse into rebirth. Every man who survives divorce faces a choice: to remain a victim of what ended, or to become the architect of what begins. The pain that once crushed you can either define you or refine you. The collapse wasn't punishment. It was an invitation to rebuild without illusion. You must understand, destruction and rebirth are not opposites. They are stages of the same transformation. Fire doesn't just burn, it purifies. The man you were had to die because he was built on dependence, fear, and comfort. The world ripped him apart not to destroy you, but to expose what was real beneath the pretense. When everything falls apart, it strips you of all false identities: husband, provider, protector, savior. What remains is something raw and unfiltered, a man who owns nothing but his will to rise. And that's the most dangerous version of you, the one who has nothing left to lose but everything left to build. Stop asking why it happened. Stop romanticizing the past. Stop trying to find meaning in her betrayal. The meaning is in the aftermath. The universe didn't take her away to hurt you. It removed the distractions so you could finally meet yourself. You weren't destroyed. You were disassembled for reconstruction. Rebirth doesn't come with fireworks. It happens in silence. In the mornings, you get up even when no one cares. In the nights, you face loneliness without calling anyone. In the moments, you choose discipline over despair. Every small act of strength is a resurrection. Every day you refuse to surrender is a declaration that the man who fell is not the man who will rise. This is where purpose begins. Not the borrowed purpose of being someone's husband, but the personal purpose of being a man who builds from ruins. The collapse gave you something priceless, a blank page. And that blank page is terrifying because it demands accountability. You can't hide behind her anymore. You can't blame anyone. Every brick you lay now belongs to you. Let the pain become fuel. Let the silence become space. Let the past become ashes, not as a reminder of loss, but as the soil for your rebirth. Because from the ruins of everything you once were, something unbreakable can emerge. You are not rebuilding to prove your worth. You are rebuilding because you finally understand it. And that's the paradox of collapse. It's not the end of the story, but the point where you start writing it consciously for the first time. One day, the noise fades. The memories lose their sharpness. The pain that once ruled your nights becomes a quiet reminder that you lived, that you endured, that you rebuilt. You look around and realize the world didn't end. It just changed shape. And in that stillness, you understand. Survival was never about getting her back. It was about getting yourself back. You're no longer fighting to be loved. You're simply living with strength, clarity, and peace. And that's when life begins again. Not with celebration, but with calm. Because true power isn't loud. It's silent, steady, and unshakable. If this message resonated with you, share it. Comment your story. Let another man know he's not alone in the storm. And if you want more truths that cut deep and heal real, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your rebirth starts here.